Guys, I don't see or hear anything.
Welcome into Pressbox Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles with Pressbox and PressBoxOnline.com. And with me on this Thursday excursion into the Baltimore Orioles minor league system and major league observation is Eric Garfield. How are you, Eric?
Good, Stan. A lot to discuss from Orioles camp. Today was a really, really nice day. The last couple of days, there's been a lot of action, prospects, and pros.
All right. Let me take care of a little bit of business. We'll talk a little bit about the Costas in during the course of the program. But right now, I start out with a question. What company has the expertise and technology to make your home substantially more energy efficient, comfortable, and even virus free? Well, that would be our friends at AJ Michaels Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis at ajmichaels.com. And with baseball season around the corner, and March Madness just about being upon us. If you like to wager on sports, it's legal to do so in Maryland. Use use who I use and Glenn Clark uses, and that is Superbook, one of the most trusted names in Vegas. And now you can use the promo code you see up on your screen, Stan Charles 23 or Glenn Clark 23. And if you use that promo code, you score up to $250 with their first bet bonus. Win or lose, they will match your first bet up to $250 with promo code Stan Charles 23 or Glenn Clark 23, all one word with no spaces. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Well, it's no gamble. We'll get the skinny on Oriole prospects from Eric Garfield each time we talk. And Eric, you've been positively glowing about Jackson Holiday.
Yeah. Uh,
What do you, because they're not playing games yet against competition. So you're watching them take infield practice, batting practice. Have they started even the intramural games, that they're playing against one another?
they have not done yet. The closest thing that he's had to any competition was today in batting practice, where it was he, Heston Kjerstad, and Colton Cowser were aiming for Tuttle Avenue, and those guys are bigger, older, and more experienced than him, and he more than held his own. There's lots of video of him just launching baseball after baseball, and his swing looks really, really, really easy for a kid. That's today. Yesterday, he was doing infield drills at shortstop with no first baseman. He just had to throw to a net with a square in the middle, like a lacrosse net.
Mm-hmm.
Marylanders are familiar with. He hit it every single time. If you want to see video of that, it's on Twitter at Eric_Birdland. So
All
really,
right.
really very exciting stuff on film from Jackson. He looks
I,
great.
I understand you're getting quite a few views on those videos. Okay. So at Eric_Birdland. Okay.
Yep.
Uh, Eric, so you mentioned that he was playing shortstop.
Yep.
If he makes the team, it's been pretty much the common belief that if he plays for the Orioles this year at the beginning of the season, it's going to be at second base. Is he also working out at second?
Yeah, they have a field in the back of the complex, the Earl Weaver Little
The
Field.
little
There's
field, yeah.
there's no outfield, so it's only infield dirt and the pitcher's mound. So he's been at both. But yesterday he was at shortstop. 3 or 4 days going backwards, he was at second base. So he's kind of balancing out the defensive reps. He's a really smooth athlete. No wasted motion, but no real like acceleration, no urgency in the movements. He fields it, he transfers, he throws it. There was an article yesterday that came out in Baseball America about how really deficient his arm is. Go ahead and watch the video. You don't have to look at any chart. You can just watch him throw.
Um, the talk during the offseason was that he was working out to gain strength,
Yep.
so he could hit the ball
Oh, yeah.
harder
Yep.
exit velocities and hit it further.
Yep.
Do you see evidence of that so far? It
Absolutely
sounds like
yes.
you do. It sounds like you do.
Yes, and even more obvious that he's impacting the ball differently is the sound. That's why you can go to the video, you can hear it for yourself. If he's hitting it out in the area where Heston Kjerstad and Colton Cowser are sending baseballs. That strength is there. But I'm observing every single thing that I possibly can when I'm in camp. That's kind of why I'm there. I notice when he signs autographs for kids, his forearms are even wider. I mean, he is a kid, but that's evidence. The forearms are often used baseball muscle, so he's already gotten bigger there. You can see the top of his legs are. He doesn't look like a running back, but he looks like there's significant muscle under his uniform. So that's a lot of physical improvement in a short time, and the results are on the field to see. I look very forward to seeing him compete against the Pirates, the Twins, the Phillies, and the other teams in Southwest Florida.
Today I just happened to get in the car one time today, and I turned on an XM radio. The MLB station was on, and I'm not even sure who was doing the show. It was Loud Outs, and
Mike Farron.
It might have been Brad Lidge or CJ
Okay,
Nikowski, but they were talking
pretty good
about
show.
somebody, and then they said, and I think he could be. This is a big statement. He said he could be the best player on that team. And it turned out they were talking about Jackson Holiday. That's pretty heavy stuff that he would this year at some point in time be the best player on the field for the Orioles. Do you see that as possible?
Anything is possible, but I don't think he's going to reach that status for between 30 and 50 months if he does at all. Adley is outstanding, and he is stepping into the yearly MVP candidate phase of his career. He looks good at every single baseball movement, and now is demonstrating leadership also. So Jackson has a while to get to that level. Right now, Adley is there, and Gunnar, even though he's hurt, he's doing some exercising
Mm-hmm.
and being his own self. So hey, it would be great if that was true, or if he could get close. But right now, those are the leaders of the offense, and Grayson is the leader of the pitching staff. So I mean, we're gonna have a pretty good Mount Rushmore of superstars, but Jackson's got a way to go. That sounds like something that a radio person would say to keep you listening.
Well, when you say that that Adley is exercising a lot of leadership qualities, how do you see that
Okay.
in watching players practice together? Is it the exchanges between players and just sort of you can sense it?
Okay. When I first started going to these Orioles practices, I was a member of the credentialed media. And I remember being in the locker room the year that Adley first came in. I wanted to interview him. I wanted to do everything, ask him everything. He was so shy. He was so in the background because the Orioles' best player at that time was Chance Sisco. So now things have kind of come. I know. Things have come kind of full circle, and he's the prime guy. He's the one that everybody wants to talk to, and he's totally okay with it. But in between cage sessions, you see him with the other catchers in the catching group. Some are major league players, some are minor league players, but Adley is the one that's kind of showing the example. Yeah, this is why I just hit it 460 feet. Look at how I turn my hips. Look at how I open up. You guys can do the same thing. So it's that kind of thing where he's not a coach on the field, but he's an educator. He cares about being at the top of the food chain, and he's demonstrating that he cares about the other people below him. That's being a team guy. Been kind of waiting for that for a while.
And you've been glowing in what you've texted me over the last couple of days on Grayson Rodriguez.
Oof.
Is it the fact that he now knows the second half he had last year, he knows he belongs, and he's also demonstrating some more leadership, you think?
Even more, when there's a big group gathering before they stretch and do calisthenics, it's almost like they're waiting for Grayson to finish his coffee, come to them, give the energy, then they can get moving. And again, he's a guy. I saw his first draft here. When his family came, they were one of the most nervous families that I've ever seen at minor league camp. What is our son going to be? Is he even made for this? Is he going to make it? Now he is the true Orioles number one. That was like 6 seasons ago. So he's been developing, he's been adding to his pitching arsenal, but he's been maturing as a guy. He on the mound, he is so focused and so serious. Off it, he is so casual and laid back. So even being able to divide that is quite mature, more mature than I thought I'd see from him
So
six
the
seasons back.
Orioles make the big trade for Corbin Burns, who everybody in the media is saying the Orioles got a number one.
Yep.
You're kind of then they get the terrible news that Bradish most likely will miss the season. We'll talk
Yep.
about that in a bit. But you're saying Grayson may really step into like a co-number one role with Burns. Is he that good?
Oh, well, like you said, he had a great stretch in the second half where he finally found himself on a
Yep.
major league mound. So, we can't ignore that, but it's almost like he's the guy that's been around. They've been uh, boosting him, they've been pushing him to be that number one, even though we've got a Cy Young candidate right next to him, right behind him, right in front of him, whatever, however you want to formulate it. Grayson is going to be the one that stays and sees the rebuild all the way through. It's great to have Burns and his innings and his skills, but he's not that guy that comes out of the building and gets things popping like Grayson is. It is not in any way a knock on Burns, but he almost just got here. I've seen evidence that he doesn't even know who everybody is just yet. When
Mm-hmm.
he comes out, he is focused. He is throwing. He is long tossing like today, but he's not Grayson. Grayson's going to chat everybody up, the trainers, the photographers. He's known them for years. So you
High
just can't
energy, a lot
ignore
of high
that type of
energy,
stuff.
a lot of high energy with Grayson. You're saying.
I just love it. I just love it.
Let's talk about a few other players that you've observed over the past couple of days. It's far from a make or break season for Colton Cowser or Heston Kjerstad. But what are you seeing so far from the two of them? Are they ready to really scale the ladder and be ready to be major league contributors? Both of them. How do you see this shaking out?
This is probably to me the most interesting dynamic slash storyline. The old outfielders kind of transitioning to the new ones. I don't know if both of them are equally ready,
By the
but I
way,
think
are they friendly with one another? I mean, they're
oh
not. There's not
yes.
like a while they're both competitors. You don't get a sense that one of them is pissed at the other that he
Oh
might.
no,
Yeah,
no. They have a house together. They're among a
they're
group that has a
buds.
house together. No, it's not like that at all. They're coming up together more than they're competing. Towser has hit the weight room, so he's considerably bigger. You'll see when you get down here.
Yeah.
A lot more shoulders and chest, a lot more thickness around the neck. And just today, I even said it narrating one of my videos. His exit velocities have to be in a different range, and so is his distance. Heston doesn't look much bigger, but you can tell by the ease of his swing and the consistent distance, uppercut, and sound that he's worked out to, maybe more lower body. So in terms of their readiness, they bring different skill sets to the table. I would say if one of them is going to make the club right out of camp, Cowser right now just looks like he can do a little bit more, and his defense is trusted significantly more. So that gives him a little bit of boost. But Kjerstad can catch right up with that 30 home run power that is on display every single video I post. He does not waste a batting practice swing.
Let's talk about one of the players. It's one of my favorite players is Kobe Mayo.
Mine too.
I've seen him play twice. I saw him in Aberdeen and I saw him at Bowie last summer. And both times he hit home runs. And I only missed a third home run because my buddy and I, it was like the sixth inning, and the game had lingered on, and we said, let's go, and we left, and we heard that he
Mistake.
missed a second home run out of him. So tell me a little bit what you're seeing this spring from him so far.
A lot of rumors about he's going to be a corner, not third, or he's going to play first or the outfield. Kobe has practiced exclusively at third base and looked better than outstanding. He did the drill yesterday with Jackson throwing across the infield at the net. He missed one, and it was a backhand where he had to cross over the third base line. He missed it by an inch. It's on video. So Kobe looks bigger, taller, He actually grew a little bit, but he's light on his feet. His transfer is faster, and his swing is so destructive and just so violent. It's hard for me to imagine that he doesn't pull a muscle in his lower back every single swing. He's now reaching different pitches, extending his arms and barreling for contact, pitches that are a little bit away from him. He does waste pitches in batting practice because he's kind of more selective than people realize. He let three in a row go right to the net today, waiting for the perfect one. That's not
Yeah,
a batting practice type of behavior.
he's not a guy that's going to strike out 180 and walk 30. I mean, he's a guy
Oh,
that may
goodness,
strike
no.
out 160, but he'll get 70, 75 walks.
Right. That's a fair percentage. We're not going to
Yeah,
have that kind of blasphemy on this. No,
yeah,
he does not profile like that. He's a walk rate increase type of guy.
yeah.
It's going to be between 15 and 19, his walk percentage, which is more than adequate. So his batting average, it's not going to be in the 260s. It's going to be in the 280s at least. Kobe
And
looks like
he profiles to me to be an on base guy at like 370, something like that.
offensive superstar.
Yeah.
And, the Orioles have this type of talent. He's a fourth round pick. We've got this type of talent every position, every level. So I know it's kind of repetitive to talk about the same guys, but these are the guys that are doing it. He's
Yeah,
not
well,
having a
now
bad camp. He's having a great
the,
camp.
the difference was when we were talking about them a month ago, you weren't observing them right now. Now you're
Right.
seeing them and talking about them.
Good
Tell
point.
us a little bit about one thing. When you hear Mayo hit a ball, doesn't it have a different sound to you?
It really does. And it's not because of the torque or the impact. It's because his reps, his training, his experience, he knows instinctively how to get that good part of the bat on the ball
Yeah.
time after time from the right side. And Kerstad is doing the same thing from the left side. So right, it's a very different sound. But when it's in a group with prospect power hitters like this, they all make that noise. That's one of the reasons why I love having a camcorder, so fans can hear it instead of just seeing it.
Yeah. Both times I'm serious. The one time I was talking to Luke at a game and I said, this is his fourth or fifth time facing this guy. It was in the seventh inning at Aberdeen last year in April or May. And I said, he might be able to pick. And as soon as I said the word pick, I heard a sound and I turned around and it reminded me of a player that I really used to love was Troy Gloss.
Oh,
Used to play for the Angels.
okay.
But really, when he hit them, they were majestic, you know.
Glaus
So,
had a good Camden Yards career. He had kind of a long swing for a tall guy.
yeah,
Kobe's is a little bit more efficient, but that's a fair comparison. I think maybe a more modern one is Austin Riley.
interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's a very good comparison to
Thank you.
Troy Gloss. Let me
Look at
tell
us.
folks a little bit about the Costas, and we'll come back and wrap up with a few more players such as Connor Norby, Cade Povich, and I want to talk a little bit about Seth Johnson as well. Um, The Costas Inn, located 4100 North Point Boulevard. Again, no better place for steamed crabs, crab cakes, crab soup. But they have fantastic specials every weeknight, Monday through Friday, at the Costas Inn. And one thing with March Madness coming up, you and your buddies and family, cousins, friends may say, hey, let's go watch a couple games at the Costas Inn. They got many, many screens there. So it's not a sports bar, but you won't miss any of the action of the game you want to watch. But if you're interested in steamed crabs, call them up 410-477-1975. Map out your plan. How much are the crabs? What sizes are they? And are they available? That's how you do it at the Costas Inn. And I promise you'll have a great, great time at the Costas Inn. Only been there for 50 plus years at 4100 North Point Boulevard. Back with our remaining time with Eric Garfield. And Eric, let's take another position player. Is
Okay.
Connor Norby going to make things difficult for the club this spring to send him down?
He already has, but much like Joey Ortiz, it's going to be tough to find that opportunity, not because the players above him are so excellent and he's not in their
Right.
tier because he kind of is, but they're more experienced. Jordan Westburg's got draft pedigree and a pretty good major league background and more of a utility type, a trusted utility type. What I've seen from Norby is there's not a baseball skill area where he is deficient. He throws it well, he runs well, he contacts everything. This is a born 300 hitter. Now he's hitting it with loft and power. So maybe he's trying harder to influence their decisions, but still, the players that are above him depth chart wise are Westberg and Jackson Holiday. So that's a tough rotation to crack. Even though Norby looks so crisp, so good at everything. If I'm an opposing team scout watching Orioles camp, that's who I'm picking to deal for. And that kind of stinks for us prospect people because he came in good and
Yeah.
developed to get even better, like reflecting the Orioles' #1 system qualities.
Has he bulked up a little bit? I mean,
Yep.
is he stronger like
Yep.
Cowser? Has he gotten somewhat stronger?
I even said to my friend the other day, it's crisp in the morning, it's a little bit warmer. Sometimes the players take off their sweatshirts or warm-ups. He took off his sweatshirt and his shirt came up and you could see his arms. I mean, he looks like a weightlifter. Connor Norby looks like a weightlifter. He used to look like a college infielder. So that's a very fast transition. Connor's got some big biceps now, and he never had any. That explains the home runs. So it's gonna be tough, but still, he's doing his job. He's
Do you
he's looking
expect
great in camp.
do you expect him to play some first base at Norfolk this year?
I do not. He's not a big enough target, and he did really well at playing left field last year. In fact, some of the more important playoff games down the stretch, he started at left field. He played 9 innings at left field and made some good catches. He also has a pretty good arm from that
Mhm.
left field corner. So there's nothing baseball wise that he can't do. But I don't think he's going to pass Jordan Westburg, and I don't think he's going to pass Jackson Holiday. Again, not a knock on the guy, but
Yeah.
this is what contenders have.
You mentioned Jordan Westberg. We haven't talked about him. With what I'm seeing, with Mayo really focusing on third base and coming pretty fast. I mean, I
Yep,
think by June or July this year, if he's having a big monster year at AAA, he could be ready.
I am
But
with you.
and Henderson at short and Holiday at second. Are they having Westberg take any outfield reps at all? Have you noticed that?
I didn't see him with the outfield fly ball group
Okay.
today, so that would have been a good chance. And he was outside. He was on an adjacent field doing infield. So I don't think he's going to add outfield to his utility resume.
Yeah.
But I do think he's more than an adequate starter and backup as a major league infielder. So the people that think of Jordan Westberg as just a space filler, they're going to find out he's a lot closer to a starter. He doesn't look any bigger. He doesn't look any older or more
hmm
mature. He just looks like the good Jordan Westberg
Yeah.
that he has been.
Question though about one player, and we've talked about young players today, with the exception of Rutschman a little bit and Grayson. But Jorge Mateo, have you noticed, is he taking fly balls?
No, he arrived only about a day, 2 days ago. One day was
Okay.
onboarding, so he's only been outside for 2 days, today and yesterday.
Okay.
All short, not a ton of stuff, but when it was defense time, he was next to Kobe playing shortstop. Hey, and he looks very good,
Oh,
crispy,
he's
going to both sides on the infield.
he's
He
an
has
astounding athlete,
he's
Jorge
got
Mateo.
range.
Yeah, yeah, he's tremendous.
I like
It'll be
him.
interesting to see how Brandon Hyde is able to use all these players, because I'm assuming at the beginning of the year, if Holiday is up, he's second base, Henderson is ready as shortstop, and Westberg would probably start at third base.
Now, there's one name that we haven't mentioned, and I have video, and I've noticed. Every baseball player has the increase and the peak phase, and then the decrease.
Yeah.
I think Ramon Urias is entering or in the decline phase in his career. It doesn't mean he can't help a team, and he doesn't mean he can't make money or get another contract. But I think where the Orioles are, even Mateo,
Yeah,
they're,
I think the
they're
sun
all
is kind
they're
of
all above him.
the sun is shading him out a little bit, you know.
That's probably a better way to say it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's not.
I think he's still a very useful major league player. And
Yep.
that's why I thought that we were such a perfect fit for for a deal with the Marlins with Joey Ortiz. I thought we could have given them the left side of their infield plus a prospect like a
Yep.
Cowser or somebody to get a Luzardo back and give them Urias and Ortiz. That would have been the left side of their infield. And you saw today they signed Tim Anderson for $5 million. I'm not so sure they wouldn't have been better off with Joey Ortiz making $700,000 and
Well, that's why it's
growing
one of
into
the reasons why they're the Marlins. They don't
yeah,
they don't always do the right thing. But I think you and I are in agreement that all the prospect population and what they bring, they might Urias is a guy they might pass instantly or really quickly if they haven't already. He's known as a sharp defender,
yeah.
going to his backhand and transferring. It's just not as efficient and smooth like it used to be.
I like the kid.
He's
He's
a
a
nice
nice
person.
player and he was a good fielder. I was shocked when he won the Gold Glove. I watch him live 60, 70 times and watch him on TV another 70, 80 times. And he was real good, but he didn't strike me as a Gold Glover. Um, Got to talk a little pitching with you. First of all, have you seen Heidner hair of Mr. Bradish?
I have actually. I've seen him out a lot and in his jersey, which means he's got a scheduled either throw session or live BPs or something like that. I haven't seen that because they bring him to a mound that's beyond a pair of screens. Some media can see him, some can't. But he had a throwing session a couple days ago. I don't know the level of intensity. What I did notice and got video of is pitcher's fielding practice. He's doing the same thing, the same motions, but he's not throwing overhand. It's just an underhand toss. So there's a very clear example. Everybody else, 17, 18 guys in his group are all
He's
throwing
throwing
overhand,
overhand and
and
he's
he's just
throwing it.
doing a soft toss. So right there, that's kind of a huge indicator that there's still
Yeah,
serious caution around him. If I had to speculate, just based on the fact that he's not doing what Dean Kramer, Tyler Wells means the other group is
yeah,
doing, it's just, we would have to guess he's
yeah,
going to have the procedure at some point.
yeah. Last week I said it's probably a 92 to 92% chance of surgery. Glenn Clark had this guy on it last week. I forgot his name right now, but an injury expert. And
Right.
he pumped the brakes on 90+%. He said there are several examples of it, but he said, it made it sound like it's more like 80% that he's going to get the surgery. And I think that's an indication that he's not feeling well enough to just soft toss there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's talk a little positively about somebody that I read, Jake Rill, who writes for MLB.com, covers the Orioles, doing a really good job,
Yep.
young writer.
Yep.
He had a piece up about Johnson. Has Johnson impressed you so far?
Oh, yeah. This guy is a serious athlete. His throwing motion, he's the kind of guy I just film no matter what he's doing. Throwing long, which he did over 380 feet a couple days ago. Very, very impressive. But his motion, the decision to take him away from being an infielder and to make him a pitcher was very much the correct decision. One thing that he's got to work on that makes me think he's probably not going to make the club initially, doesn't have a lot of innings, doesn't have a lot of high
Yeah,
level experience. There's not a lot of deception in his hand between fastball, curveball, and something kind of like flat, like an off speed. You can see from 100 feet away his hand move all the way around. So he's going to have to work on either hiding it, keeping in the glove, or something like that.
yeah,
A little more hand strength to guarantee that deception until the last split second. His stuff looks fine, but he's going to have to deceive these higher level hitters that have scouted him well and think they have a good idea of what's coming in an 0-0 situation or a two strike situation. So that's something that he's going to have to work on. as an athlete, he seems extremely serious and very, very impressive.
Would you go along with this schedule that he starts the season at Bowie, and if he gets off to a good start, maybe middle of May, June 1, he's up at AAA?
Yeah, let's give him between 35 and 55 Bowie innings. And yeah, I think they're gonna be fine. Whatever the Orioles are looking for, get through your starts, get a high enough K per nine, keep the batting average and on base percentage against low enough, and yeah, you'll be at AAA with what looks like a very, very strong AAA rotation.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what you've seen with Cade Povich so far.
He might be the Tide's number one. Yesterday, he had a live at bat session, and he was facing various guys. I think the most experienced guy he faced, also a lefty like him, was Nick Matan, and he had this guy swinging through everything. Late movement, late drop. Matan got one contact and hit it straight up. So,
Now,
uh, po-
Matan's a left-handed hitter, right? Or is he a
yep,
switch? No,
you
he's a
know
left-handed hitter, and he was
he's
terrible.
lefty.
He's terrible against lefties last year because I
I
had
don't
him
want
on my fantasy team. He was really not very good.
in these at
Um,
bats against Povich, he did not look like he was seeing the ball really well. But then Povich switched to a couple righties. He had Kobe Mayo chasing. Kobe got him for a 113 mile an hour hit knock, but it was foul. So Povich looks like he has the spin to deceive both-handed types of hitters. Also, just something that I've noticed when he throws strikes low in the zone, the hitter has a much better look, a much better time at reaching it. When he throws strikes, Povich isn't very tall. He's baseball tall, 6'3". When he
yeah,
throws them high in the zone, that's when they seem closer to unhittable. So there's a little thing that I've observed just watching him and rewatching him through the camera.
you mentioned something. They're going to have quite a starting rotation at Norfolk this year. If the season were starting tomorrow, who's in that rotation at Norfolk? If
Chase,
Johnson, if you and I are right about Johnson being at Bowie, is it is it Chase McDermott and
yes.
Cade Povich, and then after that, who?
And I would say just
Armbruster?
Justin Armbruster. So there you go, right there. That's your first 3 games of a 6 game series. I don't know exactly how it's going to shape out. There could be like some former major leaguers down there, kind of waiting. So I don't exactly know. But there's a very good start to a rotation right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
These guys are like they're better than AAA. They're just not ready to play big league baseball on a contending team. But they're not years away. They're months away. So for me, that says winning a lot of games for AAA at Norfolk.
All right. So people can watch the video that you shoot out there on a daily basis at
Yep.
Eric underscore Birdland.
Yep. Go right
And
ahead.
you'll hook this link up when you get it to your Twitter as well, right?
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right.
I do it so everybody can see it. If I was in Baltimore, I'd want to be looking at stuff like this. So check the thread, whatever player you like, whatever player you're gonna see them doing something at camp.
Narrate, make everybody feel bad back here in Baltimore, though. Narrate that when you're doing your videos, say it's 76 degrees here today. And
Okay, I can do
okay.
that. Today was 72, so it finally was sunscreen weather, and I had to put some on my neck and on my face. So
All
it's
right.
starting to feel like Florida. I really actually can't wait for you guys to get down here.
Yeah, Luke and I'll be down there. I'll be down there next on the 5th, and Luke comes a couple days later than that. Eric, pleasure. Did we miss any player that you wanted to chat about today?
Actually, very, very briefly, yes,
Yeah.
one. There's one guy that I thought would not advance, would not project as a starter, really wouldn't be anything. And I've been proven wrong by camp. And actually, that's one of my most favorite things is when I get it wrong. That's former Stanford draft pick Maverick Hanley. It looks like he might be the catcher behind Adley after McCann and before Basayo. So
Okay.
that's something. And the reason that I say that his transfer
What's impressed you about him?
his transfer has improved leaps and bounds. It used to be sloppy. He used to drop the ball. Now it's fire, fire. Receiving drills, so consistent with the glove not moving, like maintaining the target. Then you get to hitting. His swing isn't perfect, but it's, again, so much better than it was. His batting practice sessions are now just as loud as any prospect. Mav is not a big guy at all. He's 5'10, so for him to be knocking it where Kerstad knocks it and Cowser and Mayo putting it up in the atmosphere, this is a very big change from the profile he had before. So he used to look like a nobody. Now he's already, just like that, a somebody. Developing catchers is hard, even if you have a great system.
Is he a somebody that'll be at where will he be this year? Bowie?
I just watching him, he's a triple A guy
Okay.
today. So if you're a scout or if you're someone from other teams and you're looking at that population, who can maybe help be a major league backup, and then who knows? Again, he used to be so far
I
from
know
that,
you've
and
always
now he
talked about
clearly is
him.
that.
You never are negative about players the way I used to be negative about players, but you never really thought of him as somebody that could play in the major leagues, and now you're seeing a little bit of window for him.
There's gonna have to be somebody there after McCann
Yeah,
before Basayo. And David Banuelos is doing fine. The other catcher the lifetime AAA guy that they acquired, Michael Perez, he looks fine too. But Mav is clearly better than both of them at every aspect of catching. So I got to say, good for him and good for the Orioles development team to get him to that level.
all right. We'll see
So
you
he's one.
next Thursday. Keep at it.
Thank
Again,
you.
at on Twitter or X at Eric_Birdland. We're together each and every Thursday. We'll have to talk about what we're going to do on Thursdays. Maybe we'll do it from down there. All right.
I've got a camera if that's what you
Keep
want to do.
keep it going. Well, or we could do it from where I'm staying and where you're at, whatever.
Okay, we'll figure it
All
out.
right.
We're bright
We'll
guys.
figure it out. We'll keep people abreast of what's going on down there. We've been brought to you by our friends at Superbook Sports. Use that promo code StanCharles23 when you sign up, or Glenn Clark 23. No capitals needed, just one word, Stan Charles 23, Glenn Clark 23, and you get a $250 first bet bonus, win or lose. They'll match your first bet up to $250 with that promo code usage. We've also been brought to you by AJ Michaels Heating and Air Conditioning, and also my friends at the Costas Inn, numero uno for steamed crabs, the Costas Inn. For Eric Garfield, I have a friend of mine named Eric Garland. Eric Garfield, I'm Stan the Fan, and we'll talk to you down the road a little bit. I'll be on with Glenn Clark tomorrow morning. Bye.